Welcome back to my channel, you guys. If you guys are new here, my name is Patrice Carothers, and I'm so glad to have you guys here. On this channel, we are talking about my pregnancy, and this week we are going to be talking about my 12 and 13 weeks of pregnancy. So if you guys are interested, please stay tuned. So for week 12, I had my phone here because I definitely took notes. I am very forgetful. I tell you guys that all the time, but it's very, very true. So for week 12, we're going to get right into the symptoms. They're going to pop up right here for you guys to follow along. So for week 12, I still had some sore boobs. They weren't sore, like super sore to like the touch or anything like that. They were just like still like internally sore. This week my nipples were kind of weird, like my nipples were a little bit more sensitive than they have been in the last couple of weeks. I felt like my nipples got a little darker. I don't really like that, but like that's something that as women we should talk about a little bit more, because I feel like everyone thinks it's okay and I'm like, no. I really did not like that aspect of pregnancy, like the dark line on your stomach and like having like darker stuff around you, like darker nipples and things of that nature. Like we don't really talk about that, but I'm going to be the first one here to tell you guys that happened to me in week 12 and I didn't like it. I felt like my boobs have definitely grown, at least for me. They're still pretty small, but for me, I'm like, hey, okay. This is a little TMI, you guys, but if you are like a small chested woman, you're just like, hey, I got a little something to work with now, But at the same time, you're just like, your belly's growing and you're just uncomfortable. They're still tender. So it's like you're having fun, but you're not really having fun with it. I felt like my husband noticed more than I did, because I was just like, my boobs always hurt. They just hurt, And I wasn't really like saying like, oh, look at how I'm filling out this bra today. Oh, look at how I'm filling out this shirt, or things of that nature. So my husband definitely noticed and definitely kept me very aware that my boobs were growing and getting a little bit bigger. So I guess that's one of the symptoms as well too this week. This week, it was kind of a little weird, but I did have a little bit of abdominal cramps. It wasn't anything crazy. And it wasn't anything to consult a doctor about or anything like that, and it was off and on, and they were very, very mild, and I felt like they were even more mild than like week 6 or week 5 or whenever I had abdominal cramps. I also wanted to mention as well this week is that, okay, listen, we're gonna keep talking about all this stuff, because I'm going to tell you guys the stuff that I do not like. I didn't like the dark lines. I didn't like my nipples getting darker. I didn't like any of that stuff, and I definitely don't like CM. And if you guys don't know what that term means, it means cubicle mucus. I'm not here for it. I would say during out the whole pregnancy, I had a little bit. I don't think it was enough to like sit here and tell you guys like, oh, I have it, but it's definitely normal. Some girls have it more than others, but I felt like this week it was just like kicked up a notch. So it kicked up a lot more to where I even told my doctor when I went back for my prenatal visit, and I was like, is this normal? Should we am I okay? Like, should we take a look at this? So when we did our checkup last time, he was like, well, it's kind of normal, and as long as it's not, like weird colors like yellow or reddish color or brown or anything like that, you're okay. If it's like a clear to white kind of consistency, you're okay. So with him just even explaining that, I was like, okay, I'm good, thank you. And it wasn't a lot, you guys. Like, it wasn't enough to fill up a panty liner or anything like that. It was just uncomfortable knowing that, like, hey, like, I'm pregnant. I don't want to wear panty liners. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I don't want to buy sanitary items. Like, I'm pregnant. I was like, this is like the one time in our lives where we don't have to actually go to the store and get sanitary items. And so I was like really here for it. I don't know if I said it, but I still was a little bit of nausea. I mean, I still was a little nauseated, but it was nothing like week 9. Thank God. And it was nothing like week 6 through 9, I should say. It wasn't too bad. I wasn't throwing up anymore. And I felt like on my handy dandy scale, which is what I'm going to keep telling you guys, from 10 being hospitalized, 1 being like, oh, it's like I don't have morning sickness kind of thing. I felt like my morning sickness was at a 3. It was very, very manageable. I can get through the day. I can definitely fake it. At this time, my coworkers and stuff know that I am pregnant, so it wasn't like I had to hide it as much, but whew, during those other weeks, I wish that I could just tell everybody what I was going through, but I didn't want to have to backtrack just in case, God forbid, something were to happen with the pregnancy and it wasn't sticking or anything like that. So I didn't want to go through the motions of telling everybody that I knew, like, hey, I'm pregnant, versus like saying like, oh, okay, now I'm pregnant. Since I'm closer to being out of my first trimester, I was comfortable with telling everybody like, hey, I'm pregnant now, yeah. So I was still kind of tired. It wasn't like anything like week 9. Oh, thank God. Week 9 was just such a hard week. So I still had that drowsiness during work. And it was like throughout the day, I felt like I couldn't get my sleep down. I don't know how to explain that, but it just felt like I wasn't getting enough hours, even though I was getting enough hours of sleep. So I kind of felt a little groggy, like as if, I don't drink coffee at the moment. But if you were to drink coffee and say one day you just skipped drinking your coffee in the morning, I felt like that. Like it wasn't nothing to be like, oh, I'm so exhausted, but it was just like, oh, I can take a nap. It was definitely one of those kind of things. So yeah, that was it for week 12. Okay, listen, you guys can see it all over my face. I am so excited in here for week 13, okay? So let's get right into my symptoms for week 13. So week 13, I was still a little exhausted, but definitely nothing like week 12. So like, maybe instead of having 2 cups of coffee, I just had 1. So it wasn't anything that I needed to physically like complain about. It wasn't anything that I was like complaining to my family or friends or anybody that asked me like, oh, I'm so tired. If my husband happened to ask me like, oh, hey, babe, how you're feeling? I would probably tell him like, oh, I'm just a little exhausted, but nothing like, oh, I need to go to sleep. I need to lay down and I need to take a nap immediately. It wasn't like that. So I'm very thankful for that. And this week another symptom is I started feeling more like myself again. I got my second win in the middle of week 13. You guys do not understand how happy I am to feel like a normal human being again. I feel like Patrice, and I just don't know how to relay that over to anybody, but I feel like I'm going through this really honeymoon season of my pregnancy, right? Like I'm just such in a state of bliss. I feel like I have my energy back. I can go on walks. I can stay up later. I can hang out. Like I can do everything. I can be a sister, a friend, like a wife. I can just be all these things again that I wasn't able to do for the last it felt like 9 weeks. For the last 9 weeks, I was not able to be myself and to feel comfortable and to just not have any nausea, guys. Like, thank the Lord. Oh my gosh, that is not one of my symptoms that you guys are going to see up here. It totally went away. I feel like a brand new person. Like I felt like I was reborn, and it just, I'm so thankful that I could cry. I'm so thankful for that moment, like just feeling like me again. I would never, oh my gosh. And it definitely wasn't 100%, okay? I didn't feel like, oh, I'm back to being old Patrice, 100%. Like I can do whatever I want. I can do this and I can do that. It wasn't like that. It was like, I felt like 70% of myself, you know what I mean? Like I can get up, I can hang out a little bit more, I can be interactive, and I can not worry about, oh my gosh, if I move, I'm going to throw up. If I smell something weird, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to just like, I wasn't in a constant state of like feeling nauseated and feeling like, oh, I can't do these things because I'm pregnant or because I'm going to throw up everywhere. So it was so blissful. Oh my gosh, I'm so here for it. So I didn't really have any other symptoms. My boobs were still a little tender. Like week 12, I was still craving spicy foods, so I guess I can put that up. Week 13, you guys, week 13 is my best friend, okay? Like I just, I'm so happy for week 13. Like, thank you, God. Just feeling like myself again and feeling like I can enjoy every part of my pregnancy has really made me just so elated during week 13. Feel like I can just keep moving forward in life and keep being so happy and blessed to be in this position of being pregnant, because the last 9 weeks have been very, very hard and very trying. And I'm not saying that I would never go through it again. I think it's absolutely worth it, especially if you want to start your family. But just going through the trials and tribulations, if you're not physically ready for everything that's coming with it, it can definitely eat you up alive. And that's something that I felt like, you know, like why do doctors have to ask you when you go to your OB checkups and stuff, like, are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling sad? Like, are you feeling any of these emotions? Because morning sickness can definitely take the life out of you. Like, I felt like it took the life out of me. I feel like a whole new Patrice. I feel like I can definitely enjoy this pregnancy. I'm so glad. I'm so happy when someone asks me about it, because I don't have to sit there and give them like a woe's me, like, oh, I'm so tired and my feet hurt and I'm so exhausted, like I'm so nauseated, I want to throw up every second. Like, it's not that anymore, you guys. It's like, how's your pregnancy going? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going great. Did you see my little bump? Like, that's how it is now, and I'm so grateful for that. I wish the best for everybody, and I wish that, you know what I mean, if you guys are still going through morning sickness, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I definitely feel like you guys are the superwoman, especially if you have to have morning sickness throughout your whole pregnancy. I just do not know how to manage that. I feel like you are the strongest human being ever, like, that I have ever met going through something like that, because there's just no way that I feel like I can do that. And I feel like God never puts more than you can bear on you. So like, he knew, like, hey, I'm gonna give her a little taste of it, but I'm not gonna give her the full effect. And I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, because I don't think that I can handle that. So now getting into the fun part, which is the pictures, as you guys can see for week 12. Look at my little baby bump. And then here's my update for you guys. All right, you guys, here is my 12-week baby bump. As you can see, baby C is getting real big. I'm really excited. So I'm actually showing you a little bit, you know? Pretty excited about that. Here is my baby bump for week 13, and I'm also going to give you guys a little update. All right, you guys, I am 13 weeks. As you can see, my belly hasn't grown since last week, I don't think. So, yeah, that's my baby bump from the side and from the front. You can't really tell from the front, especially wearing black, but just wanted to show you guys what my belly looks like at 13 weeks. This is it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. As always, in the comments, let me know how your end of your first trimester went. How did it go? Did your morning sickness go away? How was everything for you guys during the season of your lives? Or are you guys currently going through it? Or are you guys like not as far along and you're waiting for your 13? Let me know down in the comments where you guys are at with it. And let me know you guys' stories. I would love to hear your stories, especially if they brought you out of this morning sickness fog, like it brought me out of that. So I'm so grateful for that. So definitely share with me in the comments below you guys' stories. And I feel like they can definitely help one another. And as always, if you guys like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel here. And if you haven't subscribed, I don't know why you guys haven't subscribed yet, but please hit that subscribe button. It is absolutely free. We're not going to charge you anything here. We're just going to have a little bit of girl talk, you know? And also click that post notification bell so you guys don't miss another upload from me. And as always, I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.